Buckle up, Titans fans, because it's going to be a long, long season. Again. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I had to get on here and make a video to voice my frustration of just how frustrating the Sunday loss to the Broncos was. And I want to clear something up. I've been a Tennessee fan since 1997 when they became the Tennessee Oilers, which made no sense, but they were playing at Vanderbilt Stadium. You know, I've been a fan since 1997, 13 years old. I became a fan of the Tennessee Titans, and they've been breaking my heart since 1997. And I have been through some highs, and I have been through some extreme lows. And I feel like right now is one of those extreme lows under Brian Callahan. And mind you, I was a fan during the Ken Wisenhunt era, you know, with Zach Mettenberger as the quarterback. Those were some bad times, man. But, you know, last year we went 3-14. We had the number 1 pick. We select Cam Ward, obviously, quarterback out of the University of Miami. We build around him. You know, I'm thinking going in the season, okay, last season, Will Levis was the problem. He was terrible. This year, we're going to clear it all up. And we go into Sunday's game, and I was like, there's going to be some problems. You know, obviously, Denver's defense, one of the best defenses in the league, they're going to cause some problems. I don't expect Cam Ward to play amazing. I don't expect us to win, but I just want us to play good. And here's the problem that happened on Sunday against the Denver Broncos is our defense, I think, played really good. I'm really happy with how the defense played. Now, at the end of the game, obviously they got tired whenever they're on the field for that long, defending against that offense. You know, they're going to get tired. So I feel like they gave up some cheap plays that probably wouldn't have gave up if it had been earlier in the game. But one thing that makes me the maddest is that there were so many opportunities for Tennessee to win this game. Denver just kept handing us opportunities over and over with 4 turnovers. Just kept giving us opportunities. And Tennessee was just like, no, we're cool where we're at. We're going to continue to kick field goals. That's our game. We don't want touchdowns. The team that showed up to play against the Broncos, the Brian Callahan coach team, I don't know if we will win a game this season under this coaching staff. Here's the Tennessee's whole mindset almost every single game. First play, we are running it. Guaranteed Tennessee is going to run the ball on first down. Second down, we're probably going to run it again. Third down, we're probably going to be in a 3rd and long situation, and we're going to try maybe some type of bootleg or just, you know, like a little slant pass, and it's going to be bring up 4th down, and we're going to punt it. That's the Titans' mindset for all these years, and it still showed very clearly against the Broncos. That was our mindset. We were going to run it no matter what. But as I'm looking at the contracts, and I'll show this on the screen here. So, as I'm looking at the contracts, your top highest paid person on the Titans is Jeffrey Simmons. $94 million contract, $23.5 million per year. Jeffrey Simmons, obviously, he's our best player. Played a really good game yesterday, had the sack. But then again, whenever we needed him the most, he makes a stupid penalty where we had stopped him on 3rd down, and he made a stupid penalty to give them the first down. Here's a little stat for you that 6 different times Tennessee committed a penalty that resulted in the Broncos getting a first down. And a lot of these times, it happened on 3rd down. Jarvis Brantley Jr., I know he likes to play aggressive, but dude, come on. Like, I think he had 3 penalties in this game, and they were very at crucial times that you did not need to make a penalty, and for unnecessary reasons, he gave him a first down. But back to what I was saying about contracts. Your highest paid player on the team is Jeffrey Simmons, making $23.5 million per year. And then he played a solid game until he made a stupid penalty. It was just a bang-bang play, but you know the whistle had blown. Why would you push the guy? The game is on the line. It's a 1-score game at this point, and you push the guy. You'd already stopped him on 3rd down, but no, we got to do another little push resulting in a first down for the Broncos. Other than that, though, I think Simmons played a pretty great game. All right, number 2 up on the list as far as highest paid player on the Titans, and that is Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley makes $23 million a year. Do you know how many targets Calvin Ridley had in this game? He had 8 targets. Take a guess of how many drops he had in this game. I know of at least 3 very crucial drops that he had where he was just not going to help out Cam Ward at all. There's one across the middle that, it was a little high, but if you're making $23 million a year, I expect you to make that play. I expect you to make that catch. A lot of times you'll see Ridley, he will scrunch up right before the ball is about to get to him as if he is anticipating that hit. And I understand, I'm not saying I can sit there and take it, but dude, you're a professional ball player. It is your job making $23 million a year to catch those balls. Especially when the game is on the line, you catch that. Number 3, Dan Moore. Jesus Christ, Dan Moore. He makes $20.5 million a year to play left tackle. And, God, dude. Cam Ward was sacked 6 times yesterday. 6 times that your franchise quarterback is getting his ass put on the ground. And, it seems like nothing has changed from the 2024 season. We went out, only thing we did, we spent more money just to have our quarterback hit more times. And the last one that I find crazy that, is our highest paid player on the team. Number 4 is L'Jarius Sneed, making $19.1 million a year. There was the time this offseason where L'Jarius Sneed missed the whole OTAs, the whole offseason, the whole preseason. He comes back. I see Sneed playing in the first half, and I feel like I didn't see him play at all in the second half. Looking at the stats, he only had 3 tackles this whole entire game. Not a difference maker at all. L'Jarius Sneed, Dan Moore, Calvin Ridley, Jeffrey Simmons, those are your highest paid players that are not making a difference where it needs to count. Like I said, Jeffrey Simmons played an awesome game, so he had the 1 penalty, so I'm going to take him off the list. But Calvin Ridley, dropping those passes, dude. Dan Moore, dude. You look like a high school left tackle playing against a professional team. I don't understand how you can make this much money and be in the professional leagues and just get your ass whipped on every single play as he did. But my takeaways from this game is that I think the rookies looked good. There is some promise in these rookies. Cam Ward, he was calm. He was composure. Did take a few bad sacks at the worst possible time. But overall, I think he stayed calm. He threw some beautiful passes that obviously the receivers didn't help him out at all on. Alec Manor had that one catch that, Brian Callahan should have challenged where his elbow came down inbounds, but didn't. But then you have DK having the 71-yard return. I think there is great promise in this rookie class. There were some questionable calls in this game, of course. I'm talking about end of the first half. You're on your own 7-yard line. And we've pretty much stuck to this mindset of we need to run it down their throats every single play. And we decided, you know what? Now's a good time to just turn Cam Ward loose and let him throw it. Well, guess what? Denver Broncos, they knew exactly what you're going to do, and they brought the pressure every single play, resulting in a sack that was almost a safety. And we ended up giving up 7 right before halftime. And, as I'm looking at these stats of this game, the whole entire game, Tennessee only had 7 first downs, 5 of which were passing, 2 of which were rushing. Denver, 20 first downs, 9 of which by passing, and 5 of which by running. Looking at the game, Ward 12 of 28 with 112 yards passing. Not great, not bad, what I expect with a rookie quarterback playing one of the best defenses in the league. But here's the one thing that always stood out to me in this game is total offensive yards from Tennessee, 133 yards. Total amount of penalties by Tennessee in this game was 131 yards. So we almost had more penalty yards than we had offensive yards, which is absolutely crazy, given that our main focus from 2024 should have been discipline and penalties, and it's like it's a continuation of 2024. Here's another big one too. Sacks in the game. Cam Ward was sacked 6 times, where Bo Nix was only sacked 1 time. Of course, that's when he gave up the fumble from Jeffrey Simmons. It's just overall, the more frustrating thing about this game is that it was in our grasp. It was in our hands. There's a lot of times in this game whenever Cam Ward would come in, I'm thinking we're in a perfect spot. Yes, right here is where he's going to solidify his legacy, and he's going to go down, he's going to score a touchdown, and he's going to become a legend today. And then, of course, we'd give up like 2 sacks, or there'd be a penalty, and we'd get into a 1st and long, 3rd and long situation, and we just have to punt the ball back, or settle for a field goal. It's just, man, it's the same rinse and repeat from 2024. I often think, like, was Will Levis truly that bad, or was it Brian Callahan's coaching? Because obviously we saw Callahan, his play-by-play, his coaching ability, it's not there. I don't know how much he's in over his head. I don't know where they got that he's this offensive guru from Cincinnati, because he might have been the offensive coordinator, but Zach Taylor was calling all the plays in Cincinnati. So, in the moment that Brian Callahan leaves Cincinnati, Cincinnati becomes the number 1 offense in the league. So, that's got to tell you something. I see Brian Callahan definitely being on the hot seat. Just looking at the schedule for Tennessee, of course, the Colts win against the Dolphins. Jacksonville looked pretty good against the Panthers. And then, so they're 1-0. You have Tennessee and Houston 0-1. Houston losing a close game to the Rams, so that shouldn't be too much of a concern. But Tennessee losing 12-20 in Denver. Like I said, I wasn't expecting them to win. I just want us to go out there and look good. And, now looking back on it, that we had so many opportunities to win this game, it's even more frustrating to know that we should have walked out of there with a W. Not feeling the way I feel right now, that I think Callahan, I did say if it starts off bad that he might not make it to the bye week. I think based off the fan reaction from this game of him not challenging the Alec Manor, elbow in catch, the questionable decisions to pass it in your own 7-yard line, almost getting sacked in the end zone, those questionable calls, the fan reaction is not good right now. Like, he is under a lot of fire. He has to come out and change his whole entire mindset. Something's got to give. You have so much invested into Cam Ward. You can see that the guy can sling the ball. He made good decisions, I think, against the Broncos. Let him play. He is your only chance to save your job, and it's to let Cam Ward just play his type of ball. Brian Callahan, I don't know. I mean, we got the Rams coming up. Rams didn't look terribly good, but I don't know. I don't know how they might bounce back from a poor performance last week and have a statement to prove against us. I don't know. And of course, then you got the Colts and you got the Texans. I don't know, man. I don't know if Callahan makes it past week 5. I don't know if he makes it past week 2. Something's got to change, and he's got to change it in a hurry, fast and quick, because all the issues from 2024 are just the same issues in 2025. With now you have no excuse, because now you have built this roster. I felt like in the offseason we improved every single aspect of our team, with special teams, with defense, with O-line, with quarterback, and now you are expected to perform. So, going into the season, Brian Callahan, his seat was already hot. I think after Sunday's loss to the Denver Broncos, his seat is on fire, and it's just burning his ass right now. So, he needs to make a statement game. He's got to come out and perform. Your team's got to be ready. And these receivers, they have to make plays. You got to help out Cam Ward any way you can. that's what I have for you guys. If you guys do enjoy Titans content, I'm going to start uploading weekly Titans content. So make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on the little bell notification so that way you don't miss any content that I upload. I'm curious to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment down below. What's your thoughts on Sunday's loss to the Denver Broncos? Like I said, my main thing is I wasn't expecting us to win anyway, but the fact that we were so close just makes it even harder. Curious to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. Mom, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.